and HenricK, the rat bring the chaos. Gaming news and industry talk, they got it all. Rage quitting, head banging, it's a metal bro. Mental meltdown, gaming in flames. Chris and HenricK bringing the thunderous rage. Video games and viral content. They're the kings, ripping through pixels, the ultimate game to get away. The ultimate. Game over, I'm feeling the rage. Chris Collins and HenricK on the stage, talking gaming news. Industry that can't escape, reviewing video games. No need to debate. They bring the heat, spitting truth non-stop with fiery words. They're ready to drop, making waves in the world of video games. Collins and HenricK, they don't play no games. From console wars to DLC scams, they expose it all, making sure no one jails. The audience fired up, ready to explode. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. You know it's a code. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. Rage quit. Rage quit. I'm losing my mind. Chris and HenricK, they're talking gaming all the time. Rage quit. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair, but I keep coming back. Ain't nothing else to compare. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair.
What's raging, gamers? Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. I hope you're having an amazing week so far. I am your host, Chris Collins, and we got so much to discuss on this jam-packed show that I call Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. But I just want to take a moment for anybody that is tuning in live that hasn't liked, shared, subscribed, and hit the notification bell on my YouTube channel. Go ahead, scan the QR code. It will lead you to where all the great goodies are at in my world. And also for the homeboy HenricK, the recce is out for today's episode, but this is his QR code where you can find him all across the World Wide Web. But this QR in particular will take you directly to his YouTube channel. But as we always like to do at the start of the show, we always like to start off with a bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that is circulating all across the World Wide Web. So let's get it. Okay, so we've seen rappers flex cars, mansions, and private jets, but Sway Lee, he just flexed on gravity itself. The man set a Guinness World Record, and not for album sales, not for diamond chains, but the largest video game display ever flown by a helicopter. Yeah, while most of us can't even get the TVs to connect to the Wi-Fi, Sway Lee's out here playing Ninja Gaiden 4 on a 26-foot screen in the sky. I mean, this was something that went down in Miami, obviously, because where else could you legally combine a helicopter, a video game, and a publicity stunt without someone yelling, "Florida man strikes again"? And so the idea was inspired by Ninja Gaiden's lore about climbing skyscrapers. So naturally, they said, what if we just skip the skyscrapers and just hang the screen from a helicopter? Apparently, the display used some next-level tech to stream the gameplay from the chopper straight to the screen, thanks to a company called HeliD, which I'm assuming stands for Helicopters Doing Hella Dumb Shit for Promo. And all of this is to celebrate the launch of Ninja Gaiden 4, dropping October 21st on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. And if, this is something I'd like to leave for you, the gamers. Like, what's next? Are we going to see something, I don't know, like Travis Scott drop a Fortnite concert from space? Or has Sway Lee just set the bar so high, literally, that nobody can top it? So let's go ahead and check out the footage of this Guinness World Record. So there you have it. They recruited the rapper Sway Lee, and he is a part of the Guinness World Record history. But then you also see that clip, and I just have to think about some of the things that we've been reporting in the last couple of weeks about how Microsoft has just been, obviously ballooning costs when it comes to us, the consumers, on having to buy their products. And you wonder why video games aren't getting any cheaper when you see stunts like this. I mean, everybody thought the Sphere was going to be a distraction for drivers. Could you imagine driving home from Miami and all of a sudden you see this shit flying in the air? It's cool, but it's definitely different. Wow, we are living in the dystopian future. Well, let's get it. The comments read, Soulja Boy somewhere punching the air right now. I know. I can only imagine. I always laugh at that clip with Soulja Boy when he was all so stoked. I think it was during the Xbox 360 era. He's like, I got the keyboard attachment to my controller. Nobody else, fam. And then you also get comments like this. They had the financial means to fund this project, but for us players, they show no mercy. Instead, they opted to increase our Game Pass subscription fees. Good job, Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. It's like even we were laughing about Hideo Kojima like a couple weeks ago about how he went to go ghost hunting and he had to bring a Microsoft, executive with him to go hunt for a ghost. Really? Like, really now? That one's super silly. I guess with this one, when you associate it with the Guinness World Record, it's got people chattering about it. It obviously got you upset, and hopefully Xbox Game Pass can start taking it seriously. And that's, it's just wild how, the cloud gaming space is just massively ballooned. But then you also get a comment like this, translated from Portuguese, set the record there for the company that rose the most in value from 1 month to the next in Brazil. 100% increase overnight. Something never seen before. An admirable record. Game Pass now 100% more expensive. World record! So people just don't seem too excited about this old 26-foot screen flying through the sky. Yeah, who would have thought? But hey, let's keep it rolling because, there are two types of gamers in this world. Those who think Battle Royale saved gaming and those who still hiding in a bush somewhere hoping the circle closes in their favor. But this week, one of the gaming's biggest names decided to weigh in on why Battle Royale might just be the key to keeping modern shooters alive. And when I say weigh in, I mean this guy dropped a take so bold it might just restart the Warzone lobby. I mean, apparently traditional multiplayer modes are getting a little stale. Yeah, I mean, who could have guessed that running the same 3-lane map for the 400th time might feel repetitive? Shocking, I know, right? But according to the popular streamer Ninja, there's one formula that still works, one that keeps the streams running, the players yelling, and rage clips flowing. Let's just say it's survival of the fittest out there. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Man, I was wrong. I never said that you need to have a Battle Royale for a game to be good. I did not say that. I said you need to have a Battle Royale for your game to have longevity. And I think that that's just objectively true. In today's day and age, where there are so many games coming out, and there's 1,000 games that release every year, you're not going to get 100,000 people playing Call of Duty matchmaking until the next COD comes out. It's just not going to happen.
Do you agree with that statement? I mean, this is a popular streamer who's been in the game for almost a decade now, and, you know, when Ninja speaks, most people get really pissed off. And that's where the comments come in. First one reads, PR and streaming has genuinely ruined shooters. Yeah, I mean, I always hear the argument with, like, streaming, especially when it came to, like, Marvel Rivals, and it's pretty amazing to hear reports that, like, almost 85% of the player base is completely left the game. And, you know, some of the arguments could be made about the streamers out there. The minute a character drops, everybody's always knows all the ifs, ands, and buts around that character, which just kind of ruins the gameplay because some people just want to kind of naturally drop in without having all this information to be like, hey, you want to know how to cheat the system, how to really get the ranks going? You know, there's that. And then, you know, with Battle Royale, longevity, I get it. I mean, you might miss out on Fortnite for a couple seasons, but then all of a sudden you might be a Homer Simpson fan and you're like, you know what? I really want to jump back in. At least with Battle Royale, it's constantly refreshing games to try to do something new. But with content updates, I always kind of wonder whether that fad will ever die anytime soon. I just don't think so. And then we get a comment like this: if you don't have progression, your game dies. That's true, but, you know, that's always that same argument, even with, like, the Halo series. People always love, you know, going up to level 50, and then I know there's another clip going viral where even Ninja explains that, where he's like, Onyx? Like, what the heck is that kind of ranking progression? I mean, it's just, there's something about the flow and not being able to be rewarded for your gameplay really kind of drives, you know, gamers to want to try something new. And I totally get it. At least with Fortnite, they suckered you in over those years. You know, you get those V-Bucks, you get excited. I mean, even like myself, I haven't even paid for a single battle pass in Fortnite, but all those years in the early days playing for free, I accumulated enough V-Bucks where I can buy the battle pass, and every single time you complete a battle pass, you'll always have enough V-Bucks to buy the next one. So that's how they get you to draw in. To feel like you're suckering, like as if, though, I'm going to miss out on the opportunity where I don't even want to pay real money. That's a real thing. And then the last one is Battle Royale's ruining shooters unless it's a standalone PR. I disagree with this take. Call of Duty has not been the same since Warzone became a thing, and Fortnite significantly became less popular as well as Apex. Battle Royales have no progression, and they get old quick. I used to really, really love Apex Legends. Now I can't even find a friend anymore that even wants to jump into that wasteland because they just go, it's too hard. It's too difficult for me. Or what about the finals? The finals is fun, but people moved on from that pretty quickly. Does Ninja have a point? Do you need PR mode for longevity? Let me know what's good. But, you know, gamers, I've been asking it for years, and it looks like Battlefield might have finally listened. Yeah, I'm stoked to say it. Battlefield listened. I know I had to sit down too. I mean, after a decade of half-baked gimmicks and those live service promises I know everybody was upset about when it came to the Battlefield 2042. But the franchise is finally going back to what made it great. I mean, that beautiful chaos where the strategy meets absolute demolition. It's not just about shooting anymore. It's about how much of the map can you take down with you. And I mean, I love it. I mean, this is that kind of Battlefield where, cover is more of a suggestion and every explosion feels personal. And I'm talking about structures falling, debris flying, and players realizing maybe, standing under that probably isn't always the best idea. And look, I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say there have been amazing clips online with Battlefield fans celebrating one very big comeback that quite literally changes the landscape forever. And I love it. And there's so many good goodies. Hopefully you're not the victim of all these clips going viral. Let's go ahead and take a look. I love that clip where the guy's parachuting on in, and he clips him just in the right time where he just face plants directly into the wall. Sometimes it's not always going to knock down, all right? And so let's go into the comments. Battlefield, remember to wear hard hats out there. Thanks for the reminder. Thank you, Battlefield. Thank you for being real. All jokes aside, this game is amazing. Yeah, a lot of people were very upset, especially last week when I was showcasing to a lot of the rage quitters out there where people were utilizing the hammer and smashing the drone to go super high in the sky, and then Phase Scope, is doing these crazy sniper shots that are getting clipped all across the web, and people are going, oh my gosh, this is becoming a joke. It's starting to look like Call of Duty. No, it's not. Absolutely not. Battlefield is Battlefield, and it's a great time. And I know they got a brand new map that's going to be dropping pretty soon. I believe it's called Eastwood. It's a California map. Looks kind of cool. Looks like a golf course, so you can see some golf carts driving around, as new vehicles. And yeah, man, it's a blast, man. What are you waiting for? And then the last one is, we can never trust an IGN review after this. What everybody says. I know, IGN was a little skeptical at first about Battlefield 6. Yeah, they're the same people that gave She-Hulk an 8 out of 10. I also saw PC Gamer didn't even, they have this article out, and they got like 100 best PC games, and they didn't even reference Skyrim. Like, really? Like, the player number base is always still high to this day. How do you not even mention Skyrim? But that's beyond what we're going to be discussing here live on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. And again, thank you so much for always supporting the show, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And hold on to your controllers, because I need you to pull out your phones. You're going to need to go ahead and scan the QR code. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show, as we're always live every Wednesday night on Meta, YouTube, and Twitch. And for the homeboy, HenricK, what are you waiting for? Show him some love. Comment. Let him know what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, what you love, baby. And hey, we're only just getting started. So you ready to rock and roll, fam? I know I am. So let's get it going, baby. Woo! What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. So, violent video games are back in the political spotlight again, but this time it's not the U.S. wagging the morale finger. No. It's Mexico's turn. The Chamber of Deputies just approved an 8% tax on video games, with mature content because nothing says protecting the youth like taxing the pixels. And so, as you can see here, this tax targets games rated C and D under Mexico's system, which basically means you're an adult, but we still don't trust you. And the C rating is for players 18 and up, allowing all the good stuff, blood, gore, and a tasteful sprinkle of chaos, while the D rating is for the truly brave souls who think Mortal Kombat is a light cardio session. Now, politicians claim that recent studies show that violent games increase aggression and isolation among teens, but plot twist, they forgot to include any actual studies. Instead, they tossed in a 2012 paper that also said gaming builds motor skills and resilience. So I guess we're violent, but coordinated about it at the same time. Okay. Well, of course, they're not doing this out of pure morale panic. The government estimates this tax could pull in 183 million pesos a year. That's a lot of pesos for pretending that, this is the way to save the children while secretly leveling up the national treasury. This will apply to almost everything. Digital, physical, and even free-to-play games. Yeah, those microtransactions just got 8% more expensive. Congrats, gamers. Your next Rage Quit now comes with a surcharge. And so the bill still has to pass the Mexican Senate. But if it does, your favorite franchises like Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, and Battlefield are about to cost a little extra every time you want to commit some fictional felony. So here's something to think about, gamers. Really, truly think about this. If Mexico's tax on violent games actually goes through, will this start a trend that pushes more countries to cash in on gaming? Or could it end up putting the industry itself in the crosshairs? So let's go ahead and dive right on into the comments because, yeah, a lot of people had to voice their thoughts on Mexico's proposed tax on violent video games with the following. Unlike everything else in the article, the video games are the only one where they claim studies without citing hard figures. Pisses me off. Someone who used to bartend and had a drinking problem that almost killed me to see video games lumped in with actual drugs and gambling. I know, it's like, it's that funny thing that you even see circulating this week where even the Supreme Court is about to hear cases about whether gun owners who smoke marijuana should even be able to legally own a gun. Okay. But what about the people who also drink alcohol and shoot guns too as well? I mean, like, we're so dictated by some silly, silly people. And then the following comment says, this is what happens when government are run by fossils who haven't been aware of cultural post-1980. Legislators shouldn't be allowed to rule on topics they are uneducated in. This should solve their violence problems, certainly. Video games have been the origin of violence since the dawn of man. Yeah, you want to curb the violence that's in the country of Mexico? Start with video games. Yeah, ignore movies, television, film, the arts, theater. No. Why would anybody advocate for that? If it starts with video games, where else could this continue? I mean, really? Really now? I mean, that's crazy. And then you also get comments like this. Xbox Game Pass giving everything for... this is not something that has to do with anything with this. What the heck is this comment? Let's keep it rolling. Laughing my ass off. How about y'all fix your cartel problem? Governments do this shit to avoid fixing actual problems. It's like the U.S. making a law against trans women playing in sports while the cost of living and unemployment are astronomically high. It's just the thing you do when you want idiots to think you're doing something to fix things. I know. It's like a lot of us right now, even during this whole government shutdown, right? It's like, get the real issues at hand. Like, what are we doing? I mean, why is always violent video games the topic of conversation what feels like every 3 months? Every 3 months. It's just so silly to me, especially when you consider when they, you look back when it was first proposed in early September, the claim was that, recent studies have found that a relationship between the use of violent video games and higher levels of aggression among adolescents, as well as that negative social and psychological effects such as isolation and anxiety, is all coming from video games. Huh. But, I'm lost of words sometimes, man. But what about violent movies, TV shows, anime, comics, manga, novels? I think people who don't play games, older generations especially, are horrified by violence in games because you are controlling what happens on screen. It seems to have led to this flawed belief that violent games encourages violent behavior more than any other media. They're right, though. I grew up on Destroy All Humans and Spiral. Now I can't go a day without vaporizing someone or roasting someone with the flamethrower. I know, it's like, but then again, it's like, this argument's so stupid to me because I'm a massive boxing fan. And I, love using X. I think X is an amazing platform to find trending topics. And when you go on X and you start, watching a few videos on boxing content, for some reason, their algorithm always feels like you want to go ahead and watch street fights. And then all of a sudden, you click on one street fight, you watch it for 10 or 15 seconds. All of a sudden, you're going to start to see 3, 4, even more gruesome content that I didn't even want to see in the first place. Maybe start with social media first and figuring out how to curb all that bullshit before starting going after certain themes or topics that make you uncomfortable. And we think video game violence is bad, but it's okay as long as you pay extra for it. It's a very strange message to send. Yeah, it really, really is. So here's the real question. If they're going to tax us for virtual violence, when do we get a refund for all the emotional damage politicians cause in real life? Let me know what's good. But hey, let's keep it rolling because it's been a hot minute since we've seen anything FIFA related in the world of video games. Why? Well, EA decided to ghost the actual FIFA license back in 2022 because apparently nothing says we love money like telling the biggest sports organization on the planet, it's not you, it's me. So, but hold on to your soccer cleats because FIFA just announced it's back in the game, sort of. They've signed a multi-year partnership with Football Manager. Yeah, that's right. The FIFA is sneaking back into video games through the quietest, nerdiest door possible. Those spreadsheets and tactical stats, if you're into those kind of style of games. Sorry, EA, this isn't your flashy FIFA franchise. It's your cousin who organizes fantasy football in Excel. It's that kind of style of game, all right? But technically, this isn't, the first FIFA cameo since the EA breakup. Earlier this month, FIFA also launched FIFA Heroes, but that's a mobile game. I know, a lot of y'all were attacking me all week on TikTok. Hey, man, we heard your debate about, nearly half of women playing video games. If you took out the mobile gaming, it would totally be different. Dude, come on. Really? That's the argument we're going to stand on? Like, when we were growing up, we had a Game Boy, all right? Game Boy was the mobile, all right? Like, what makes the difference? It's crazy to think that we're gatekeeping video games. Like, this is heavy metal. But anyways, you got FIFA Heroes, which is a mobile game. So let's, for some of the gamers, let's pretend it doesn't exist. Nobody wants to talk about the phone games anyway, except maybe your grandma, right? Okay, there's the joke for you. But the new deal is set to bring the official licenses to things like the FIFA World Cup, the Women's World Cup, and even Club World Cup. And according to the blog, all of this will be a part of the revamped international management module coming to Football Manager 2026 next year. So yes, you'll get the kits for all 48 World Cup teams, broadcast graphics, tournament branding, and the full parade of pixelated pomp and circumstances. And yeah, it has always been something that needs to be addressed. Is any of this really necessary? Probably not. But hey, it proves that FIFA still desperately wants a piece of the gaming pie, whether this signals a future where EA Sports FC might somehow get its old name back, or just more microtransactions disguised as nostalgia, is anyone's guess. So, Football Manager 2026 drops next month on November 4th, so we'll find out soon enough. So here's a question for you gamers. With FIFA slipping into management sims and mobile apps instead of its classic EA throne, is this the start of a bold new direction for soccer games, or just the beginning of FIFA slowly taking over every corner of gaming until, Tetris even gets its own penalty box? So let's go ahead and dive right on into the comments. So the first one reads, international management with official licensing? I'm officially sold now. So, it's cool. If you're into that kind of style of game, I'm sure a lot of you diehard soccer or excuse me, football fans all across the world are excited to see this kind of new adaptation. Just in time, for the World Cup showing up next year. I think it's great. But then you also get comments like this. As a Football Manager fan, why does this sound like, to me, bad news? Was thinking the same thing. You think FIFA actually being attached to a product is bad? Now that I'm kind of like scoping this comment out again, I'm kind of starting to feel like, yeah, I as much as we love the clown Madden, maybe it's best that we keep, Roger Goodell and the rest of the NFL away from video games. They're already trending right now that they want to find more ways to implement AI into refereeing the field. Okay? It's like, maybe it's good to have more. Maybe. I don't know. Why are we always so skeptic? And, maybe we got to see the product first before we start judging, all right? And then a deal with FIFA so they can't put FIFA in front of 3 competition names. What's the point? And then a follow-up comment that reads, for PC players, no point. All licenses could disappear overnight in a matter little. And for console and mobile gamers, yeah, I suppose the FIFA branding helps a bit with the immersion. I'm assuming that's got to be a major draw. And then I played Football Manager for years, and I guess I've never noticed that they didn't have any FIFA licensing already. Helps that I don't actually watch any soccer outside of this game in the World Cup, though. What a huge win for them. All of these articles just to continue to convince me that 2026 is definitely going to be the first edition of this game that I've bought in 4 to 5 years. With the follow-up comment that reads, not sure it really matters, though. What's the difference? That it's called the FIFA World Cup instead of the World Cup? I think it's really about the idea about being able to receive those kits. I think that's the thing that a lot of people are excited about, especially when you consider that 48 of the participating teams in the World Cup will be included in Football Manager. I think it gets people excited again for soccer games. I truly believe so. And then you also get a comment like this. I want something like this for the Olympics. Hell, a City Skylines DLC with some kind of international sporting event expansion would be dope as hell. So people saw this new addition, to this whole Football Manager 2026, and I think that would be kind of cool. We got so much SimCity already. Why don't we get something going on where we get an Olympics manager? Just in time for the Summer Olympics right here, in LA, and they also got the Winter Olympics in Milan. That would be pretty bitchin'. And then the last comment reads, I wouldn't be surprised if the franchise would be bought by EA in the coming years. The game engine was a roulette spin wheel for the past decade, but we can interact with agents, an email for every fitness update, and have rich press conferences. Now the logos from mod packs are official, and the new engine will restart the cycle of bad animation syncs with game events. Hooray! And if you look at that comment, he's got negative. He's getting downvoted in the Reddit thread with a follow-up comment that reads, the franchise is owned by Sega already. A return of the FIFA Manager series, which is going to get a new name for sure, doesn't sound likely given how focused on Ultimate Team EA usually is. What do you have to say, fam? Let me know. But this is where I'm going to give it to you. Here's the kicker, gamers. With FIFA dipping back into video games via partnerships instead of EA, is this the start of a trend that could change the industry? Or is it just a fancy way of charging fans for nostalgia while we all pretend that spreadsheets are exciting? Let me know what's good. But all right, gamers. We've officially hit the forgive and forget stage of the console wars. After 4 decades of rivalry, Atari, yes, that Atari, is releasing a console with Intellivision branding on it. I mean, that's like Coke releasing Pepsi Zero. I mean, somewhere a retro gamer just clutched their joystick in disbelief. And if you don't know about this hidden gem, for those who aren't born in the 1900s. Intellivision was released in 1979 by Mattel and went head-to-head with Atari's VCS, later renamed the 2600. It was the original console war, the Genesis versus Super Nintendo, PlayStation versus Xbox. Those all walked so this drama could run on 8-bit legs. And so now it's got to rebrand. Fast forward to 2025, and Atari now owns Intellivision. It's like watching your rival buy your brand just to say, remember that war? Yeah, we won. And the company's calling it Intellivision Sprint, which honestly sounds like a gym membership for middle-aged consoles, trying to get back in shape. And it's launching on December 5th in the US for $150, and the Sprint looks like the original Intellivision, but actually connects to the modern TVs through HDMI. It's even got a USB port for library expansion, which is, I'd say, corporate speak for, yes, you can mod it, we just don't want to say it out loud, okay? And so, it also comes preloaded with 45 classic games, Baseball, Sea Battle, Astro Smash, and Boulder Dash, to name a few. Basically, the lineup your dad won't stop talking about whenever he says, games just hit differently back then. And, you can see with these gems, look at these bad boys. Yeah, they're keeping that infamous controller. You remember the one that looked like the landline phone and came with those weird plastic overlays for each game? Well, Atari says the new version still includes those overlays now. The controllers are wireless, which is great because you can now be confused by the bad button layouts without being tethered to your television screen. And only this time, you can relive the nostalgia from your couch. So here's the real question, gamers. If Atari and television can bury the hatchet after 40 years, are we one step closer to ending the console wars? Or is this just the nostalgia for rivalry nobody asked to respond? You let me know. So we're going to dive right on into the comments because a lot of people had a lot to say around Atari re-releasing the Intellivision with the following. Love this All right. That was probably the more interesting things I have ever encountered in a long time. I appreciate people that are still on right now. I had a power outage. That's just what happened. I guess Atari saw that we were talking about the Intellivision and they just were so excited that they just wanted to send a lightning strike from heaven just to cast upon, the young man, Chris Collins. But I'm just going to ignore all the lighting and everything. We're just going to keep it rolling because that's showbiz, baby. That is showbiz. So, yeah, we were talking about the Intellivision with the Atari, and let's go ahead and dive right on into the comments. Yeah, we were joking about the flea market. We miss the memories. We don't actually miss them. You know what? We're going to do something different. We're going to just jump directly into the next topic of conversation because that feels appropriate, right? So let's keep things rolling. So, if I can get to where we were at, this is hilarious. I love this. This is showbiz, baby. Let's get it. So, Florida's Attorney General James Uthmeyer is taking aim at Roblox Corporation, launching an official investigation into what he calls a breeding ground for predators. The AG says the popular online platform is not only enabling child abuse, but actually profiting from it, claiming Roblox is exposing kids to some of the most dangerous of harms. Now, Roblox is massive. Tens of millions of players log in every day to build worlds, role plays, or trade hats. Somehow cost more than actual hats. But behind the blocky avatars and meme dances, there's a growing problem that's anything but cute. His office announced that Roblox will face criminal subpoenas to determine whether the company's actions, or lack thereof, have helped predators target minors. And honestly, considering how massive Roblox is, this isn't some fringe concern. Nearly 40% of its users are under the age of 13. And yeah, it's wild. And when you look back, all this came from Bloomberg report from 2024 that claimed Roblox has a rampant pedophilia problem. Since then, attorney generals from Kentucky and Louisiana have joined the fight, suing Roblox for failing to protect kids and letting child exploitation run wild on the platform. There are even lawsuits from Georgia and St. Louis alleging predators targeted an 8-year-old and another child who is 13 years old. Meanwhile, you get Roblox's vice president of civility and partnerships. Yeah, civility, which sounds something like a villain who, says before monologuing, I suppose, claims all this bad press is based on events from 5 years ago, which is a bold thing to say when the lawsuits in question filed this year. Do you think about it? I mean, every year, Tammy loves to hop on social media to celebrate Safer Internet Day, talking about the importance of building digital habits. Meanwhile, their own sandbox game can't even keep the predators out of the play area. It's like bragging about fire safety awareness while your house is still smoldering behind you. And, you got to recognize, according to the subpoena, investigators believe predators are grooming minors using Roblox in-game currency, Robux. And again, nearly 40% of Roblox users are under the age of 13. That's millions of kids building virtual empires while parents hope the worst thing they'll encounter is lag. But if predators are using the in-game currency, Robux, to exploit kids, then we're talking about something far darker than bad moderation. It's criminal negligence, hiding under bright colors and bubble fonts. And Roblox has to appear before a Florida prosecutor on December 20th to respond. So hopefully by then, someone in corporate can explain how a game about imagination and creativity became Exhibit A in an investigation about child safety. So here's the question, gamers. If Roblox, one of the biggest kid-friendly platforms in the world, can't keep its community safe, are we watching the moment where online freedom finally meets real-world consequences? And think about it like this. If one of the world's biggest kid-focused games can't protect its own players, is it time for the government to build the walls around these online sandboxes? Or are we just watching the metaverse grow up without supervision? Let me know what's good. But yeah, this has been kind of a crazy show. I appreciate people jumping in. It was starting to build up with the viewership. I was dying laughing, and then all of a sudden, all the lights go out in the studio. I just like, you gotta love the beauty of live streaming. And so I appreciate those who stuck around and those that bounced out. I don't blame you. I bet you guys were like, what the hell just happened? But you guys, can't thank you guys enough for always joining live every night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And for anybody that hasn't liked, shared, subscribed, hit the notification bell on my YouTube channel, go ahead and scan the QR code so you never miss a live show, along with your boy HenricK the Wreck. Scan the QR code. You know what to do, fam. And I will see you next week. Hopefully we don't have any more glitches, no more lag. Maybe I need to pray to the higher deities of the gaming world to bless this sacred ground called Rage Quit. But for now, fam, I will see you next week. Peace.